What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of Zipline, the official Zipper Interactive podcast. I am Chris Roper.
I'm Jeremy Dedham. And we have Jennifer Cearley with us today. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
She works here with us.
Yes.
Kinda.
She's our guest this week.
You can call this work.
Yes, that's right. We're in a room talking. Tough. Welcome to the podcast. This week we have quite a few questions for Jennifer. Thank you to everyone who wrote in. But first, it's time for the Z-Cap.
Before we get into the actual Zipper news of the week, let's look at something, because you're going to be playing our games on a PlayStation system of some sort.
True.
And Sony this week, or I guess end of last week, announced the PlayStation Protection Plan. So if you guys are in the habit of dropping your PSPs or setting your PS3s on fire accidentally somehow, you can go ahead and purchase this thing. It's basically an extended warranty. I believe it's up for order now. It was just said May, but we're now in May. Anyway, so you can add it on for $45 for a year, $60 for 2 years, and that goes extra of what your PS3.
It's extending your warranty.
Yeah, it includes a 1 year thing. I think the kind of cool thing here for me is, since I'm accident prone, is the PSP accidental damage, where you can pay $40 for a year or $50 for 2 years, and basically if you drop your PS3 and the screen cracks,
PSP.
Yeah, PSP.
There you go.
The PS3 doesn't have a built-in screen. But if you drop your PSP and the screen cracks, they'll replace it for you. So that seems kind of nice. Anyway, if you're accident-prone and you don't want to use the strap,
seriously,
look into this
though,
thing.
I mean, as an employee of Sony, I know I probably shouldn't say this, but I would really like to have seen them take it one step further and really live up to the PlayStation Protection Plan idea. Maybe, give you some kind of shoulder pads. Some kind of weapon
Helmet
of some sort,
Yeah.
so that it's actually protected from intruders or people trying to hurt it.
All right.
Well, that went over real well, I can tell. So we've another thing we did this week is we revealed stats for the winners for GameBattles.com's Become the Ultimate Mag Soldier competition that started in March. We've had 2 competitions so far, one in March, one in April. IPI Ghost IGI, say that 3 times fast, took the first XP challenge. That's the one that we held in March, and got 900,000 experience points in a single month, which is crazy. And then the last ninja won the headshot challenge, which was last month, and he earned 23,000 headshots in that month. Is
the headshot? Maybe you can clarify this for me. Was the headshot a kill, or was it a bullet to the head? You know
it's
what
both.
I mean?
If you take a bullet to the head, you're going to die.
Okay, but I mean, what if you shot him with like a pea shooter, right?
I don't have pea shooters.
All right. Well, what I'm saying, what if it doesn't kill somebody? Does that still count as a headshot?
Then they're a vegetable.
Okay.
It still counts. You still get the points, and it still goes in the stats. But there's still one competition left. If you guys haven't gotten to be a part of this yet, it's this month. You just go over to GameBattles.com, and it's a challenge to see who can get to the most kills. So go over to their site to sign up and get the details. And if you want a little bit more information on the stats that we have for the first 2 competitions, check it out on the Mag blog.
Mm-hmm. And then why don't you do the last thing here, the special thanks.
Okay. So I wanted to give a special thanks to everyone out there who answered our pleas for information regarding the bug that lets you resurrect into geometry. This has been a tricky one. One of the most popular little glitches in the game has been able to resurrect inside of stuff. And thanks to everybody out there who has answered our requests to find out how they were doing it accidentally or on purpose, we have finally discovered how it's done. Particularly thanks to Contraband Joan and his clan of professionals. They actually got in a game with us, helped us run some scenarios so that we can 100% repro the issue. And now we can actually get to work on properly fixing that problem. So thanks again to everyone. And hopefully Jennifer won't be the one that has to fix it.
Now the zip cap is done. And
Z-Cap.
all zipped up.
You don't even know the name of our own segment.
Z-Cap.
What is happening?
It's only episode 3. We're still working out the kinks. I've also been sick and out of it, and
right.
now I'm recovering.
Hey, you got your voice back.
I did
Yeah.
just in time for the show.
I do want to say, thanks for doing this. Chris has actually had laryngitis all week.
Yeah.
And the first I came in Monday, I'm like, hey, how was your weekend? And he just holds up a sign that says, I have laryngitis.
And he was dressed like a mime,
Yeah.
which I found amusing in that meeting we were in.
But you can take the face paint off now.
Yeah. Okay.
The best part actually was we went to Jamba Juice on Monday when he didn't have his voice. And of course I made him order first.
Yeah.
So he walks up to the person and he's got a little sign that says, I cannot talk. I would like an orange dream machine. My name is Chris.
It worked. I got my drink.
It is.
It helped my throat, and now here I am talking on the show.
The best part is that the person who took his order was not the person who made his drink. So the guy's like trying to engage him in conversation. Chris is just looking at him. And the guy's like, so here you go. Have a nice day. Hello?
It was pretty good.
I love that John Medeiros. They're all cool there.
Very good.
It is now time for the open discussion Q&A here with Jennifer. One of the first things that we want to know here is, what do you do here at Zipper? And what happens, how does your work change going into a game before it's released versus after?
Well, to be honest, my stuff hasn't changed too much. Prior to release, I was working on, so I work on mostly on the server side. Early on, when I first came aboard, I implemented a lot of our server code. We've got various servers. We've got like an authentication server and a lobby server, and our game servers and the stats server. And we've got just a bunch of different servers. And so I implemented a lot of the initial code, for character creation, logging in, authentication with the MP system, and the persistent character stuff, and a lot of that I did early on, and then it ended up getting handed off and enhanced by another engineer, a couple other engineers, and then my major task was working on the matchmaking system, launching games and putting people in the queues, and I also did the programming for the Shadow War, and so now I'm kind of just continuing on, enhancing the matchmaking system and working on some new stuff that's going to be coming out, and the group system, and the clan enhancements.
So since you did work on, the new mic I'm using this week, it really does make me sound like an easy listening DJ.
Yes you do.
That's the point.
Next up is Sarah. Working on a game like MAG in particular, though, it's a 256-player game. Mm-hmm. You're on the network team. What were some of the big challenges that you faced trying to get it to work? I mean, that's a big challenge.
Yes. Well, so you're asking me this question, and, I didn't deal with a lot of the real low-level networking stuff. So, I'm sure that was a challenge for those guys.
That.
I'm above that, baby. So, for me, I think a lot of the challenges was just, getting our head around, how are we going to divide these people, into all these different queues, and how are we going to handle, the language barriers, and, having 3 factions and, 4 different queues, and how are we just going to segment the population so that we can launch 256-player games without making people wait too long, and so that was sort of the big, the worry, and and all that. How are we going to handle this? And actually, I think it's gone pretty well. I mean, there's a few kinks that I still like to work out, but definitely we're pretty happy with the way the matchmaking is working. And
that's the benefit of working on a game like MAG, is that if there are some kinks you want to work out, we can actually keep doing that, as opposed to your average single-player game that you might not necessarily have that opportunity.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and we are definitely, I'm, working on, I've got a big task list of things that I need to do. Some of them are just enhancements, some of the things are bugs, and I'm working through them. It's going to take me a while. It's going to take me forever, but we're definitely, working on improving. We haven't abandoned the MAG players, trust me.
Yeah, as we've said in the past, it's an ongoing process where the game keeps evolving, and new content keeps coming, and new ways to enjoy it, and that sort of thing.
And I've said this on the forums before, and I truly mean this. The game that you're playing now, today, MAG, play it a year from now, I'm confident that it's going to be a different experience than what you have right now.
One of the things that's unique to MAG is the whole backdrop of the Shadow War. Can you explain how that, what it is and how it works?
Yeah,
Sure.
We get that question a lot.
Well, so basically, the Shadow War is just sort of like an ongoing tournament of sorts, and the 3 factions are vying for contract awards by various corporations, and the contracts are awarded on a per game type basis. So each game type has its own set of contracts, and each contract has its own set of bonuses. And when your PMC has the the contract for the acquisition game type, for example, that bonus that you get from that contract will apply to all of the game types that you play. And I don't know if that's been very clear to our players at all.
Yeah, I think that's one of the common misconceptions is that if you have a contract, it's not just for one game mode, it's for anything you play.
Right. Yeah. And so each game that you play in the particular game type, the outcome adds to the scores. If one of the teams gets a major victory, they get some number of points, and it's all tunable, and I don't know what the numbers are offhand. And even if I told you, they'd probably change soon anyway, because that's Olander's little
project.
Secret little wizard behind the curtain thing that he loves to play with.
Occasionally players do run into another error, I'd like to say. It's one that comes up every now and then, and I think it's since you've been the person really helping people out with this the most on the forums outwardly, the perfect person to ask this, to answer this question. And what are the most common cause of disconnection errors when people have them? They do happen, and what are some things that players can do to avoid getting these errors? And if you can explain a little bit for them, what is a 5-4 and a 5-5? People who run into these issues do ask pretty much all of those questions all the time, so It's really good to get it straight from someone who has all the answers. So first off, I throw that thread up there, and I'm collecting information from everybody, and I really appreciate everybody, giving in as much information as you can. A lot of these disconnect errors, especially the 5-5 errors, the 5-5 error is basically something bad happened. So that's kind of one of the parts that's been difficult for this, tracking those errors down. One of the things we're working on is just providing better feedback, getting some more error reporting to us based on things that happen on the client side. And that's kind of an ongoing effort. And but the 5-4 errors and the 3-4 errors specifically, we seem to have identified another cause of those, and it appears as though there is some bug with having a very large clan. And the very large, I'm not sure where the cutoff there is from a large and a very large clan. But for example, there's the War Kings clan on Valor that has well over 400 members, and a lot of the members there, as soon as they would log on, basically they'd get a 3-4 error and disconnect. And a lot of you guys started comparing notes and noticing, well, I'm getting this ever since I joined the clan, or I left the clan and I stopped getting it. And so because of the community, we've really kind of identified that this seems to really be a problem. And so that is one thing that I've been looking at, myself and one of our UI engineers, and we've got the server team down in California. We're all trying to track down what the exact cause of that problem is. So in general, the 3-4 and the 5-4s are problems with the network connection, but our theory here is that when you're in a large clan, our client code is doing something to block your connection for it's getting all the information for all these 400 players, and it's starving out the network connection. So that's my theory right now. Okay. And also, just to something to add, I've noticed that a lot of folks who have reported running into 5-4s, whenever the majority of the folks who've reported them that I've spoken with about it at length are usually wirelessly connected. And I noticed that just putting in a wire usually solves their problems quite often. So if you are wireless and you do run into a disconnect error, just try plugging in a cable. That might be all there is to it.
Yes, I've been getting 5-4s some at home, and it's I need a new wireless router. My wireless router kind of got melted a little bit. It still seems to work, but yeah, my PS4.
See, if your router was covered under the PlayStation Protection Program,
or better yet, if it had shoulder pads, some kind of weapon.
I don't know if the shoulder pads would have helped. It got
no, but it would have been
melted.
Really fashionable in the 80s.
Oh, but you should see it. It's cool. It's all melted and
now,
awesome.
Getting to the reader questions, one thing that I want to talk about first, and to kind of get this thing out of the way, is as best we can anyway. Is
this a surprise party?
It's not a surprise party.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't have time to pick up a cake. Everybody, apparently, every single one of them, including people that don't visit the forums, want to know in the SOCOM 4 forums, will SOCOM 4 have UCRRs, or user-created ranked rooms? Jeremy, what is our standpoint on this at the moment?
Well, we can't tell you today. So I'm not going to tell you. No, we can't tell you today. But this is actually something we're going to explain how it works in the coming weeks. We're going to talk to people. I don't want to give an exact time frame, but sooner rather than later, sometime in the coming weeks, we're going to explain exactly how that system's going to work, and you're just going to have to use that in the meantime to tide you over. But
Yes.
it's better than us saying nothing, I hope.
But we are seeing these questions, and it is yes.
Yes, we do hear you. It's just not quite ready to talk about it yet.
Yeah, this is something that we wanted to mention right now, even though we can't talk about it yet, because it seems to be the next major question that everybody wants answered.
Yeah,
so we are seeing the question, and it will get answered very soon. But yeah.
And it's also best for when we have a SOCOM guest.
SOCOM representative.
Someone who's working on the game extensively. Jennifer's primarily working on MAG, so
Yep.
it buys us another week is what I'm saying.
Speaking, Jennifer, of you playing MAG, several
Yes.
people want to know, why do you team kill us so often?
Oh, because I just love it so much.
Is that really the only reason?
No, it is not. It's because I'm a horrible, horrible shot, and my knifing skill is so awesome that it just happens. And I always try to apologize. I'm always like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to team kill you. My favorite, though, my new latest, apparently awesome favorite thing to do is to res somebody and then knife them in the back.
Wow.
I have done that so many times in the last few weeks, and it's a complete accident. But all the people that I tend to run with, so I used to run on Valor, and now I just vetted over to Raven this past Sunday, thanks to the double XP weekend. Mm-hmm. And so I've got to build up a whole new group of people that I play with now. But all the guys I run with on Valor were so used to it, they'd be like, "Oh, hi, Smarty," when I did it.
V. Rivas Jr. Wants to know if you were a gamer before you were working with game developers. Did you become a gamer after you started working at Zipper? He noticed that you had a World of Warcraft playing background in your profile earlier in the week.
Yes. I've always been a gamer. I've always been more of a console gamer. And back in the day, I used to go to the arcade all the time. And my local Fun Factory.
What is that?
I know. I'm kind of dating myself, aren't I? Back in the day, I used to go to the Fun Factory, and they would give you like 20 free tokens if you got straight A's on your report card. And so I would take, every quarter I would go and take my report card, and I'd be so in heaven because I got all this free. But, I spent like most of my allowance at the arcades. And
what'd you play?
I played Zaxxon. It was one of my favorite games. Pac-Man is Pac-Man. I like that little ladybug game. It's very Pac-Man-esque. I would play like skee-ball and stuff too, but mostly I liked Zaxxon and Space Invaders and Caterpillar, old school stuff, and the Mario Brothers, the one with the
guy with the mustache.
Yeah, but the one with the two brothers, and not like, I don't know.
Super Mario Brothers.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't remember the exact name.
The
first one
where it was a single screen.
Yeah, it's just Mario Brothers.
It was a single screen, and
that's just Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
exactly.
I play a lot of those.
Good times.
I know.
R.Y. Grimace, who likes to eat French fries, I believe. That's the whole McDonald's thing. Just wants Jennifer to say properly to pronounce his name, and wants to know if there are, I don't know why, Grimace.
R.Y. Grimace.
There you go. He wants to know if there are any details.
He's in Dark Flock.
There you go. The celebrity there of sorts. Anyway, he wants to know if there are any details on upcoming map balance passes to existing maps. Yes.
And I know that our design team has been working on our maps. And the reason why they're not in your hands yet, a couple things. One is maps are huge. They're enormous.
Yeah.
And so for us to patch them in, that's a really huge patch. And so, one, we want to make sure everything is good and right before we force you to download a huge patch, because we'd hate to do that and then, next month. Oh, oops. The second reason is because we're also working on our patch system so that we don't have to patch the entire map to make changes. And that's something that's in progress. Our engineers are working on that, and that I have no idea what the timeline is on that, but it's looking, So once we get the binary version of patching, which will decrease the amount of data we have to get you to patch a map, it'll be much easier for us to do these little tweaks and stuff. So we're definitely working on it. We hear you. We know we've got a lot of the changes ready to go, and we're just kind of waiting for a good time that, we've got the tech ready, and, we feel confident in them to get them out to you.
So just hang in there.
Yes.
Irish X wants to know if you have played as all three factions, and if so, which one do you prefer, and why?
I have played as all three factions throughout development and the beta. On the live server so far, actually I have played on all three because I do have my secret characters, but I really don't have a huge preference as far as the factions go. I tend to play with the people I enjoy playing with. There's a group of people that I met in one of the early betas that happened to all be Valor, and so that's why I had picked to play Valor first, and I was playing with those, and I just I have fun. They know me. They don't care that I have.
You keep stabbing them in the back and then grabbing them and stabbing them back.
So is it fair to say
they don't harass me? They know I'm a developer. They don't harass me. They don't ask me a lot of questions. I don't have to sit there and tell them I can't tell you.
Right.
They just know, and so that's the number one thing. It's like. I don't mind talking about my work, but I just, if I'm playing, I want to play, and have fun and all that kind of stuff.
So it's fair to say your favorite PMC is the one that your friends are playing?
Yeah, exactly. I
That's
like
mine
to
too.
play with my friends, and, yep.
Squiggy 1020, or 2010, sorry, which is a Laverne and Shirley reference, and I used to watch it all the time, so that's great.
Me too.
She says, as a female, why do you believe that a game like MAG has attracted a larger percentage of female gamers than, say, Modern Warfare 2 or Bad Company 2?
I have no idea.
Honest.
I mean, I saw this question and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I play MAG and I've never played any others. And my reasoning is because I've really never honestly been interested in any kind of military game before. And when I came to work here, I was like, oh, I'm working on games that I'm probably not going to play. And, and on one hand, that's kind of nice because if you work on it all the time, you get kind of bored with it, right? So I'm like, it's okay that I don't want to play it. But then as I've been working here, I mean, I just love MAG. I love it. I think it's so much fun. And so partly just because I've been playing it, because, it's my job. I think that's one of the reasons I've gotten a little bit better at the whole shooting and and all that.
Stabbing folks in the back.
And stabbing people at the back. Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly. And I like the social aspect of it because it is very team based. It's very cooperation based. But I honestly haven't even played either the ones mentioned here, Modern Warfare or Battlefield Bad Company. I played a little Killzone. So I don't know. I can't speak for all women because I'm just one.
It's true, though. She does play MAG all the time. Every time I log on at home, I'm like, I'm going to play Heavy Rain today. I'm going to play God of War. It's always Jennifer playing MAG.
Yep. Or Zen Pinball, which is my other new favorite game right now.
Is it real? I haven't tried that one yet. I was playing MAG over the weekend for Double XP, though.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, I know. And I don't think there was a moment I was playing that I didn't see you logged in playing the game. Seriously, you have a problem.
Yeah, I do. I have no life, so.
Mark O wants to know if there are any plans to have an all-encompassing universe with the Shadow War with other games that Zipper is currently creating. In other words, I guess he's asking if our universes between SOCOM and MAG are linked.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, they're not. They're actually totally different.
It's an interesting idea, though. It's the whole, early Kevin Smith stuff where, Jay and Silent Bob are in every universe and all the characters can come together at one point. I think it's kind
Jason Mewes and SOCOM 4 confirmed.
Yeah, I think that would actually be kind of awesome. But I think it's kind of a cool idea, but then you also sort of limit yourself into things that you can kind of do on the side. You know what I mean? So there's pluses and minuses to both ends.
You also have to keep in mind the story. I mean, in SOCOM 4 story, the whole idea is that you're part of the U.S. Navy SEALs, at least the older ones, and a lot of the other special forces throughout the world are working together. Whereas in MAG, the whole idea is that those don't exist anymore. That now private military corporations have taken over, and companies hire them to do their jobs for them. So the stories don't really fit well with each other, which is why they don't take place in the same universe.
Busy Bolt says, why don't we see female character choices when creating our soldiers in MAG?
This is one of the questions that comes up on the forums all the time, and it was answered in the beta, and the answers keep kind of pushing back. I think Thagmore takes care of that. He recycles those answers in a lot of those threads. Honestly, the reason is because we don't have enough memory in game. I mean, we've got a certain amount of memory we're allowed to play, to use, and with 256 people, you have to have enough memory to render all of the animations, all of the textures and everything for all of the other 255 players, plus their bullets, the guns, and everything, and the animations and all that stuff take up a lot of space. The voices, all that stuff, it has to be in memory, and we would basically be doubling the amount of memory we were using for characters, and that would make it a lot less memory we have left to make new weapons and all that stuff. That being said, we are constantly improving the game and reducing the amount of memory we're using for other things, and so we are freeing up some memory, and so at some point in the future, it very well could be possible, but as far as I know right now, there's no plans.
And that's the thing I think a lot of people might need a reminder of, is that women move differently than men, so the animation set has to be different. Otherwise, it's just male animations with a female face on it.
Yeah, it couldn't just be a texture change.
Yeah,
and
it's not like the old days of gaming.
I would play as a female character if I had it available, and maybe I'm a little annoyed or whatever when games don't offer that. But in the grand scheme of things, once you're playing, especially a first-person game, I can't see myself. So it's not that big of a deal, I think. So although it'd be nice, it's
Mudmaster 1223 has a question that I think I probably get every day, and now I'm passing it off to you. Yay! What or is the time frame that we can expect to see two or more squads queue together?
Well, that's kind of a segue. What I'm working on, right?
Yes.
I'm actually improving a lot of our clan and party stuff right now. I'm working on all that code right now. So it's definitely coming. I'm still actively coding on it, and I don't want to give you any kind of timeline on that because things interrupt me and whatnot. So
podcast recordings.
Like podcast recordings. Oh my god, such a pain.
No Fear writes in and says...
Who's a forum mod, by the way.
Yes. Says, and a T-shirt brand. It says, I believe T-shirts. Says we have a party system where our friends and clans can join a game, and sometimes we get into a room with other players and other squads, and all of these things can click, and everybody can kind of keep going. But is there a way, or could it be implemented, where groups can stay together so that they can all stay on the same server and join the next game together? Essentially, a group-linked thing going on.
Yeah, can you link groups?
This is kind of an interesting idea, and it's something we had kind of talked about for a while, and we kind of go back and forth on this. Like, well, would it be nice if everybody sort of stayed together as long as they were continuing to play the same game type, and whatnot. But we kind of made the decision to not do that just simply because we have the parties. So one thing that I've really been thinking about, and like I said, I'm working on this actively right now, and a lot of the design is still just in my head and not in code yet, is giving the ability to be able to link, to send an invite to another group and then be able to just combine the groups, because that would be nice. But right now, at the end of a game, you can invite individuals. The only thing is they have to not be in a group to get the invite. So I'm definitely looking into what I can do there, because there have been times where it's like, that like I've got me and 3 other people are together, and some a couple people from another clan join our squad, and we get along really well, and it's just kind of been really easy to be like, oh, we want to play with them, and just make it real simple. That's definitely something I'm looking at.
Yeah. You want to take the next one?
Sure. On a scale of 1 to 11, how awesome is the new DLC that we have coming in the pipeline? Well, Aeropenko, the person asking, really appreciated the previous DLCs that they've gotten so far. He wasn't really sold on the idea that it's a true add-on quite yet. So what he wants to know is what's coming up going to add things that the community's been begging for, and should they start getting excited? And before Jennifer answers that question, let me tell you, we still can't talk about too much of it yet, but very soon. Very soon.
I like how you cut me
You
off
like
there
that?
because you knew I was going to
Yeah,
tell
I know.
all.
But yeah, it's my fault. But we are going to talk about it very soon. But you can't answer the question. Is it something that addresses? Is it going to include things
Yes.
that the community is asking for?
Yes.
Are they
It
going
will
to get excited about it?
You will absolutely include stuff that you guys have been begging for.
Should they be excited about it?
And you should be pretty darn excited about it.
On a scale of 1 to 11, what would you give it? Honestly, what would you give it? What would you say?
Honestly, I would say it's pretty high up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's maybe like a 10 because I'm thinking the stuff I'm working on is really an 11. So, and that's not ready yet.
So there you go. It's 10.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great, and you guys are gonna be really happy with it.
And there's a good amount of stuff in there too.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, we will be addressing this soon in just a few weeks from now. Still working on the exact timelines, but you will know about it shortly.
Mm-hmm. Nero writes in and he says, "What happened?"
Star Trek villain.
Yeah. What happened to the face mask, the balaclava? Is that how you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That
That was
great with pitas.
Yeah, basically a lot of the stuff that was seen early on and some of the concept art and things like that. He's, where is this content? Is it going to be included in DLC at some point? What happened to it?
I will address the question of where did it go? Why isn't it in the game? And one of the reasons is what I was talking about before is memory. We've got a lot of extra little add-on stuff, and everything takes memory. Everybody has to, if anybody is wearing it, everybody in the game has to have the memory to be able to render, whatever the equipment is. And our designers just went and they were looking at our memory restrictions, and they honestly just said, you know what, I'd rather have the ability to add a new gun later than to have a cooler, face mask or a hat. So, and then also, again, like I said, we're working on our improving our memory usage, and so somewhere down the line, a lot of these things might end up coming back. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to how much memory we're using.
What about Bloody Shadow's question? He wants to know if there's going to be a Mag 2.
I have no idea. That
Depends.
is not up to me.
I think it would depend on how well the audience really accepts Mag 1 and on whether or not there's a Mag 2.
Mm-hmm.
So keep playing the game, keep supporting us, and I think your chances are higher than if you didn't.
Yes.
Yeah. And remember that Mag 1 is, like we said before, it's an evolving product, so keep changing. So like you were saying, a year from now, what you're playing in Mag is going to be different than what you're doing now. So
yeah, we're treating Mag as a platform. Most people, when they release a game, they look at it and they're saying, this is the game released on the PlayStation 3. And while, yes, our game is on the PlayStation 3, we're also treating it very similarly to, say, something like Rock Band, where Rock Band came out and you had this base set of songs, but you could also download songs every week so that the game that you were playing 6 months later was very different in terms of what you had. And that's our same philosophy for Mag, is we wanted to make sure that the game is always evolving, always changing. And I think that in the beginning months, admittedly, we were probably a little bit behind schedule in terms of how we wanted to roll things out. But now we're really starting to amp things up, and I think in the next year or so, you're going to see a lot of really cool content coming out.
yeah, it really is treated more like an MMO than your classic game that gets 1 or 2 pieces of DLC. This really is more like this thing that keeps getting bigger, 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 and what you're going to see a year or so from now is going to completely overshadow what came on the disc.
So it's like our Wastelands.
Basically.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty significant team, engineering and art and design team, still working on Mag. I mean, we really didn't reduce too many numbers after we shipped. So
Yeah, and that's one thing that people really need to know, is that there's a Mag team and a SOCOM team.
Yeah.
Because SOCOM's not in development, that doesn't mean that, okay, we're done with Mag. Far from it.
Yeah. Gapman19 says that he would like to ask in general if the people at Zipper play Mag more, or if they will play Mag more, and he knows that we all have jobs, but it'd be cool to see Zipper people online more often, which I believe is a nice little segue to something that, Jennifer, that you wanted to talk about.
So first off, I do want to say that we have a lot of people who play Mag. Just because you don't know that they're developers does not mean they are not in game, because we have a lot of people. We've got, what are we up to, 150 people?
Yep.
And I've got a lot of those guys on my friends list, and I see them in game a lot. You guys just don't know who they are because they're not as outgoing as I am.
And we also have work accounts and personal accounts.
Yes,
and most
exactly.
people play on their personal accounts.
Yes, exactly. But we are planning to do another Play with Zipper event, and that is currently scheduled for May 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific time, and we are very excited about it.
Yes, we had great fun the last time we did it.
I had so much fun.
It was the best games of Mag I ever played.
Yes, we had a blast.
And that's 1 week from today. We're going to have a little bit more details on the blog next week, but definitely look for us a week from now. I will be there. Chris will be there. Jennifer will be there.
I will be there.
Everyone that you want to shoot in the face will probably be there.
We're gonna get a crew together.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna apologize right now to everybody on my team that
that you kill.
I'll end up
We're gonna get
stabbing
stabbed
you in the back or shooting you because I have horrible aim. And
You just need to go out in the front. As soon as you spawn, just hold that left stick straight forward and just start running. And keep away from the R1.
Because I can't
when you don't see
shoot.
anybody in front of you.
I can't shoot, and so the way I get my points is by rezzing and healing. And so when I we joke around about this, but it maybe happens like once a week or something like that, where I don't know what I do. I have some sort of weird twitch where right after I've rezzed you, I hit the R3 button and swipe.
You black out and just your other self takes over.
I mean, there's a couple people that we kind of. No, I was gonna say there's a couple. Yes, definitely. There's a couple people that we kind of team kill each other a little bit on purpose for funsies.
Just take note. Jennifer's
Bag.
part of Operation Human Shield when we play.
But again, to say this again, we're going to be having a Play Mag with Zipper event on May 14th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard. What is it?
It's not daylight time.
Daylight time.
Right.
So we're -7 from
GMT
right now.
Greenwich Mean Time.
But anyway, so we're gonna have details on that on the blog next week. So we'll show you, put the exact time and in our clan tag and all that kind of stuff, so you'll know who to be looking for.
Before we go, it's time for our weekly zip tip from Jennifer. The zip tip, if you're not familiar, we introduced it last week. It is some kind of advice that our guest will impart upon everyone before they leave. Jennifer, what's your zip tip this week?
Well, I did want to definitely reiterate what Jason said last week about playing with your friends, because that does make the game much better. But another piece of that is if you're not a very good player like me, heal, res. That will get you the points. Definitely will get you the points, and help you get to 60 quicker than 3 months, like it took me. And directives. The directives bonus adds a lot, and it'll help you get leveled up faster.
So there you have it. Res gets you the points. The
Yes.
points gets you the khakis. The khakis gets you the chicks.
That's a good little.
Is that
You like
what
that?
you guys think? Because
That's what we're told in our news groups.
I wear jeans, so I don't know.
The
whole khaki stuff.
Also.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Closing up the show, there are many ways you can stay in contact with Zipper as a whole. One of the
Like
ways you
what,
can do that
Chris?
is you could go onto Facebook. I hear a lot of people are using this website, I believe it is. If you go on there and you search for Zipper Interactive, you're going to see a big red Z. Click on that thing, become a fan. Or is it fans now, or you like something?
You like it. It's no longer
like
fans.
it now.
You now like us.
Yeah, so
Please
you can
like us.
You
We
can
need
like
friends.
us. You can like us, and then check off the little box.
Well,
and
you
send-
can't like us because most of us are involved.
Yeah. But anyway, look for us on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter. Simply, we are Zipper, so you could go to twitter.com/Zipper or look for @Zipper. That's where we are on Twitter.
And you can also read the official Mag and SOCOM blogs, which can be found at blog.mag.com and blog.socom.com. Next week, our guest is going to be our senior designer, Scott Rudy, who's actually on vacation, and he's going to come in to be on the podcast. So thanks to him. And he's an important part of the Mag Live team and because he's the guy who handles a lot of the game balance. He also worked on the core mechanics of SOCOM 4 in the beginning, how players shoot, things like that. So
Players can shoot in SOCOM?
Spoilers.
Man, that's awesome.
So we're sure you're going to have plenty of questions for him. He's also the guy that handles the weapons in Mag. So start those questions. All weapons questions. He's the man. So if you want to ask Rudy questions for next week's podcast, be sure to visit our official Q&A thread next week that we start on the forums. And always feel free to email us at zipline@zipperint.com.
I believe that does it for this week. Jennifer, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Not really.
Awesome.
Bye.
Well said. Thank you.
See you guys in game.
Thank you, Jennifer, for joining us. Thank you, Chris, for bringing your voice back.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for listening. Rate us on iTunes. Bye.